camp. But besides that, I think I've went to a church 5 times. And even at that, it wasn't really much. I always found it very weird with some of the things that they would teach you, like, because they were very what's the word, like when hypocritical or whatever, like things that don't match up. But so I when I hit middle school, I started to become a little bit more rebellious, but in that way of also just trying to find who I am, right? And I was going to Catholic school at the time, but I decided to become agnostic, and that's not because I didn't believe in God. That's because I knew what I was following wasn't what was right, was feeling right, because Abraham says he cleared the temple of all idols, every single one, stones, figures, anything, pictures, right? And you're only supposed to worship the Creator, and He has no image at all. And so to pray to saints and even Jesus, to pray to even Jesus, and Jesus is an important prophet for me, but he's not to be worshipped. He's to be looked at like a teacher, right? Just to be grateful, just like you, that great teacher from high school. He's the same thing, right? But better. And so I went through a lot of different things, like astrology and all of it, but every single thing, there was something I picked up from it that slowly led towards Islam. And eventually I had a near-death experience where I talked to, where Jesus came to talk to me, and he never told me to worship him or anything. I was just a misguided youth, and he showed me a way. And he didn't show me Islam, he just showed me a way out of what I was doing. So I eventually was like, hey, I need to go back to Abrahamic religion. And so I was going to go to Judaism, but they don't believe in Jesus at all. So then I was looking at other ones, and it was so confusing picking a sect of Christianity. Like, why is it so confusing, right? I was going to pick Seventh-day Adventists because they actually are basically Jewish people, but they believe in Jesus. So they don't eat pork, they're not supposed to drink, they pray on Saturdays, not Sundays. And I knew Sunday was the wrong day. So I was going to do that, but something wasn't right as well. I eventually worked in the oil and gas industry, where honestly you'll be surprised how many Muslim brothers work up there. During Ramadan there will be a group of brothers praying in a hallway somewhere. And so I made friends there, and it took me about 2 years of speaking with them and actually it took me a year to kind of accept Islam quietly, and then 2 years of that before I said my shahad, and I said that on September, and it was very amazing. I always was worried that I wouldn't be accepted for being white, right? Because Islam, when you're not from Islam, you see it as being a very ethnic, like there's a very ethnicity to it backing. But it's really not at all. It's just, that's where it started, right? And so I would love for more brothers of all ethnicities to be in here. There is, but even more, right? Some of the things what my friends always are saying is, this is one thing they're really good with this group, is some of the things my friends are always saying is like, oh, are you even accepted there because you're white? And I'm like, yeah, more accepted than I am even in my friend group sometimes, right? I come here, and no matter what I say, as long as you're not being an asshole or anything, I don't want to swear, but you're not being an asshole, you're accepted for anything, and you're not being judged. And I would love for this group, because some of the things you guys have, some of the leaders have said, which is like not feeling like you're part of the group, because I said my shahad in Edmonton, so that masjid, they accept me, they know that I'm new, they would answer questions. But when I came back, because I was working in Edmonton, so when I came back here, my local masjid, nobody reached out the same way that when I said my shahad at the other masjid, because they didn't know. And so then I was just kind of like, well, what's up? And the imam's busy, you can see, and so you just pick up the vibe like, hey, he's busy, I don't want to bother him, he's got something to do. And so you don't know how to reach out. And so I finally I stopped going to the masjid for a while. Not because I wasn't a Muslim or anything, I was still working on everything else I was doing. But I stopped praying for a bit and just more focusing on other aspects of Islam. But I coincidentally had a friend who, in October, he said his shot, but he's never been to a masjid. And I was like, well, it's the end of Ramadan, bro. You have to go to a masjid, like at least once, because he was going out of town. And I brought him for a surah. And I've basically been going to the masjid every single prayer since. And that's where I met Brother Omar. And then got introduced into this group, and it's the best thing ever. And I'm very happy to eventually reach out and have other people come and join this group and help them out too. So.